The sixth annual Jazz Festival, Hot Summer Jazz Festival in St. Paul and Minneapolis, gets underway June 18th. And as you check the days through the 27th, I want to have you mark Saturday, June 26th. Between 11:30 a.m. and 10:30 p.m., all kinds of good things happen on the main stage. That's the PV Plaza location at 1111 Nicollet. And one of the artists on the scene is the one and only Vaughn Freeman. Vaughn Freeman, welcome into Minnesota Public Radio. Good to talk with you again.
Thank you so very, very much. It's wonderful to hear your voice, too.
I should call you Dr. Vaughn Freeman because you have that honorary degree from Northwestern University. Nothing to pass up.
Oh, that's a fabulous thing. It was just a wonderful occasion and a wonderful honor.
Well, I know as I look back in the history of Chicago jazz, I just have to mention a couple of a location and a name. And I name DuSable High School. And what does that conjure up in your mind?
Well, that's the school, that high school that I went to. And, of course, Captain Walter Dyatt was the music bandmaster there and taught me most of all I knew about music.
What kind of a teacher was he in your, as you look back on the years?
Well, the disciplinarian, mainly. But, of course, he knew his musical thing, too. But he mostly just taught you how to be a human being and a man or a woman, because he had a lot of ladies in his class also.
I think Dorothy Dunnigan was there at one
time.
Yeah,
almost everybody who became known or recognized in music, a lot of them came from that school here in Chicago.
Yes, DuSable High School.
Yes, DuSable High School. It was a school on the south side of Chicago.
And, of course, Walter Dyatt is legend.
Well, he got just about 99% of the credit, but there was also a lady there who taught theory. Her name was Mrs. Bryant Jones. And I don't hear much about her, but she was wonderful also. Of course, not as prevalent as he has been, but she was right there alone teaching harmony and theory. And she had a course. She taught singing.
And this is through the high school.
Yes, it's the same very high school, yeah.
And once again, it's Mrs. Bryant Jones who really is a part of that whole stimulation and environment, so positive.
Well, she turned out a lot of the singers. There's been several singers from there that became very well known.
Johnny Hartman?
Well, I can't remember if Johnny Hartman went there or not, because I wasn't too familiar with the singers, but I know a lot of times we played, and there were always singers on the program.
Well, I really appreciate you giving us some insight into that stimulation that you got early on in your high school career.
Oh, Leigh, you're such a wonderful man yourself, I'm telling you, just wonderful.
Oh, well, let's talk about you. You recently completed a session, and I thought maybe you would help us get an idea of what it's like. We'd like to set it up right now. You and I listen along with the rest of the people out there, and you can tell us about the theme and the ideas that you wanted to put into this project.
I certainly will.
All right, we shall spin your way. Hello, Chicago. Hello, Vaughn Freeman.
Yes.
Here you are, coming back.
Jimmy? Yeah. Okay. Are you straight, Rich?
Yeah.
Jimsky, are you ready, baby?
Yeah,
Website?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4.
At a later time, we're going to hear this in full performance. Meantime, this is a new project for Vaughn Freeman in his 82nd year, and what a delight. You might tell us a little bit about the people that you're working with on this date.
Well, Leigh, you know, a strange thing really happened. Somehow or another, my manager, and of course, the record company I'm with, he owns a record company, and his name is Michael Freeman. And I got together and we were talking one day, and he said, "Man, what would you like to do for your next album?" I said, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "A few things in mind, shorten up some of my tunes, and play some tunes that I really loved through the years that I don't hear everybody playing." And that was the main reason why I came up with that tune, "Be My Love," because I've always loved that song ever since the classical singers. Well, you mostly heard classical singers singing that song. And I said, "I wonder, can I get the swing of it out of it?" He said, "Oh, I'm certain you can." He said, and he's very open-minded. He said, "Well, why don't we go for it?" I said, "Are you really behind me on this?" He said, "Because I've never heard you play that type of song." I said, "I think I can get it going." He said, "I think I have a trio that you would like, because a couple of the men have played behind you." Now, I had Jimmy Cobbs. He's the leader of this, and this is actually his trio. He has Richard Wyans on piano, and then he has John Weber on bass. Now, I broke in John Weber years ago. Jimmy Cobbs was on my first album. I had a chance to record, and I asked for him, and I got he and Sam Jones as part of my rhythm section. Sam Jones plays bass. So and then he said, "Well, that's a wonderful piano playing with him named Richard Wyans." I said, "I've heard him a lot of times." I say, "He is wonderful." So that's how the quartet was arranged. And he said, "Are you comfortable doing this?" I said, "Well, I've been out there long enough to make myself comfortable." And I said, "I think that and I know they're comfortable with one another because they play as a trio." So that's how that first tune came about, "Be My Love."
And there's much more in this new compact program. You might mention some of the other titles that you have in it.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think. Can I remember now? This has been better than a year ago. So let's see. We played that tune. And see, the name of this project was The Great Divide.
Yes.
And a lot of persons have asked me, "Well, why would you name an album? That is such a strange album." And I said, well, it came from the fact that I came up through Coleman Hawkins, Lester Young, and a few years later, after I had gotten grown and come out of the Army, I met Charlie Parker. I said, and these three men, my playing revolves around these three men. And I don't know, as I get younger, of course, sometimes
both of us.
Yes, I find myself sometimes playing a lot like Coleman Hawkins. Then sometimes I go to a job, they say, "Man, you sure sound like Lester Young." Then some say that you, wow, tonight you sound like Bird. I say, well, I'm a compilation of the three of them. And everybody else I've heard, of course. But so that's how I came up with that title, what to do. And, of course, I got myself in there somewhere, so that's how The Great Divider came up.
You're very modest, sir.
Well, thank you. But getting back to your question, and then I have a couple of Lester Young's tunes in there, and I have one of Charlie Parker's, along with I did Charlie Parker's. Well, it wasn't really his tune, but that was one of the first records I heard by him, and I'm trying to think of the name of this song. Because you asked me what were some of the names of the tune. I know "Be My Love" was that first tune.
Well, I know that we're going to explore more of it a little bit later.
Well, the ballad I did with Charlie Parker in mind was "This Is Always." That's an old ballad that was done back in the 40s by Earl Coleman, who was a favorite singer of the neighborhood, more or less, around the country. And, I did so many tunes until I had to identify them when you play them, actually.
Well, I know this, that we're going to get the original on this. This is a sampling preview, and the CD project is Great Divide. And it's in release soon or has been?
No, I think it's to be released in July.
Oh, ho. So,
Yes.
well, we'll keep beating the drum.
Oh, well, listen, you certainly get a copy. You know that.
Well, all we want to do is just, exhibit what you've done since those days when you memorized Body and Soul note for note.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, well, see, well, I didn't play Coleman Hawkins' Body and Soul in here because I really wasn't trying to emulate anyone. Really, I was just playing some tunes that folks who were fans of these three great men would recognize. I'm really not playing like them, really, but it was just my dedication to the three when I said the Great Divide.
I'm talking with Vaughn Freeman, and I want to thank you for taking time on a Saturday night to be with us. We'll be meeting you on Saturday, June 26th.
Oh, thank you, Leigh.
PV Plaza, 1111 Nicollet, and the mall, and it'll be a part of that wonderful 6th year of the Hot City Summer City Jazz Festival.
Oh, my goodness. Time does pass, doesn't it?
It surely does.
Yes.
You keep well, and it's so great touching base with you.
It's great hearing your voice again.
Catch the spirit.
You know, last time you and I talked, you were at the set where I played there.
At the Dakota.
Yes, well, you were at two of them, but you were at the very last one that I played. And you and I spoke for a few moments.
We did. You have a marvelous memory.
Oh, Lord, anybody who's ever met you would remember you.
Well, thank you very much. Or maybe they want to forget me.
Oh, no.
Vaughn, what a pleasure to renew with you again.
Listen, Leigh, it's always a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you and your audience.
Well, everybody raise your right hand if you aren't driving, and you're pledged into that very 6th annual Twin Cities Hot Summer Jazz Festival, Vaughn Freeman's date on the 26th at PV Plaza.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And a pleasure talking with you.
And it was a very, very, very much.